All right, day one of my training vlog. So if you're with me on this journey, Eddie and I are tracking real life, tracking life of what it's like to be a middle-aged guy training for some bike racing. So I haven't raced in a while, as I mentioned, kind of an intro video, so you can check that out if you haven't seen it. But my point of doing these vlogs is to share some real data, some real information on how our body functions, how it changes, how it responds to training, how it responds to exercise, in a real life kind of way, because I'm walking the walk. I do coach people who are in middle age like myself. I'm 52 right now, and trying to overcome real life challenges to be healthier and fitter. And today I rode for 4 hours, which is a lot. It's a long time to be on a bike. But I think the lesson that I learned today is really about pacing. It has to be about pacing because one of the events I'm doing is in 6 weeks from this recording. It is the Foco Fondo. It's going to be a 60-mile gravel race. And so I rode the course today. I think I maybe tweaked the very beginning and very end of the course, just sort of hopped on it from my house. But it was 60 miles, 62-mile ride, 4 hours, and windy and hilly. And my goal was to really kind of stick it in a zone 2 endurance base, maybe like a low tempo pace, but something that's sustainable. I'm trying to build my overall capacity just for this length of time for this ride. And I can tell you that, I mean, once upon a time I was a roadie, and this is like over a decade now, and I would do big long rides all the time. It was part of my training regime, but I haven't done it in a long time. And so I've done more riding in the past. So I just got this gravel bike. So here's the punchline. I got this gravel bike the beginning of May. Right now it is first week of June, and I am just doubling down. I'm absolutely loving it. So, you know, why not buy a gravel bike and then 8 weeks later jump into a race or a fondo, right? So, but the lesson about endurance. So the key here is that I really kind of dialed my heart rate into about 75% or so, 70-75% of my max heart rate. And that is my zone 2, and the key with zone 2 is that it's really utilizing mostly fats for energy. We know when our body can shift into utilizing sugars a little bit more for energy, glucose for energy, because you go from being aerobic to more anaerobic. So aerobic is you can breathe easily, body's burning fat. The key is that it takes a little bit more time, a little bit more energy to actually capture that energy that's stored in fat. So it has to be like a lower pace, lower intensity. So that's what I'm really working on now. So I'm trying to build that ability to utilize fat as energy, because we all have a lot of stored energy, a lot of stored fat. So it can take us a long way for a 60-mile event, for example, and try not to tap into, at least right now, try not to tap into that the need for glucose, the need for sugar as much right now during this, or at least for today's particular ride. Because I have a long history of riding, doing endurance training, I really arguably jumped in and I'm doing more than I should right now as far as volume goes for my training. But I'm human too, and I would not advise doing this, yet I will do this. I'm trying to bend time. I'm trying to get as fit as possible in as short amount of time as possible. But you don't need to do 4 hours of zone 2 work or low tempo work to really move the needle. The basics are this. If you're pretty new to endurance training, if you do 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, that's enough to move the needle for you. The key is doing it consistently. So if you want to tap into your body's energy to burn more fat as you're exercising, shoot for a consistent heart rate in the 70-75% range of your max and stick it in that zone. This could be doing it with a brisk walk, walking up a hill, rucking, rowing on an erg, cycling, swimming maybe. Any way that gets your heart rate up to that zone and you just sort of stick it in that zone, that's the sweet spot. That is teaching your body to burn fat. We all have fat. All my coaching clients want to burn more fat. So that's the sweet spot. So right now, again, the lesson of the day is investing in zone 2, investing in my body's ability to metabolize fat, burn fat for energy, so I can tap into it in 6 weeks when I do this event where I'm going to be going a whole hell of a lot harder than just burning fat. But the key is like, I want to be able to produce as much strength, but as much power as I can with as little effort as possible. And so that's what I'm training. So I'm sore, excuse me, I'm tired. I got that hack, if you will, from the effort, but this is day one. Again, I've been training for a while now, so I got a few weeks of training under my belt, but this is day one of this vlog. They will get better. I will answer any questions about zone 2 training right now. If you drop a message on zone 2 training, I got a lot of opinions about that. I'd love to share the science on it and how it works for me. And my goal is pretty much every day I want to share kind of like my real story, kind of what I'm doing to perform at these events, to be competitive at these events, and show you what I'm doing and what I'm not doing, and trying to overcome the shit that is real life. So that's showing behind the curtain, kind of truth in advertising. I'm just a middle-aged guy trying to be healthy, and that's what I do for my coaching clients. I'm going to do it for myself. So that's day one of the vlog. If you have any questions, let me know. Tomorrow's another day. I think tomorrow is going to be a short ride. My goal is going to be maybe an hour or so, just to spin the legs a little bit, try to get up to some endurance. But I am pretty certain, I just got off the bike half an hour ago, so just slugged down my recovery drink. So I will talk about recovery drinks. I'm going to talk about wearable devices like Whoops. I'm going to talk about nutrition. I'm going to talk about strength training. I'm going to talk about mobility. Stretching, should you stretch? Maybe you shouldn't stretch. I don't know. I'm going to talk about interval training. All this stuff's I'm going to be breaking this down in this vlog series as I do them. So as I do them, and if it's piques your interest, please subscribe to this channel. If you have specific questions or things you want me to do a deep dive into, I'm happy to do that. 2 events. One is Foco Fondo. It's in Fort Collins, where I now live. That's in about 6 weeks from this recording, and the Breck Epic. So Breckenridge at altitude. I'll break that down as I start focusing a little bit more on that. But yeah, it's gonna be epic. So here's to your health. Let me know if you have any questions.